Okay.
It's going to be great. We have Mel and Neg here of Lezbedovas, the Instagram famous couple who we love.
And so we're tell us who's Mel and who's Neg, and let's go into that a little bit.
Okay, I am Melissa.
And I'm Negging.
And we are Lezbedovas.
Yes.
Lezbedovas. So before we get into everything and all the stuff, we have to hear your 30-second elevator pitch.
This is Groundhog. This is like Groundhog Day.
I feel like we just were here.
I feel like that. Let's see if you can do it at 30 seconds.
Oh,
25 again. Can you do it again on your mark?
Exact same time.
Get set. Go.
We are Melissa and Negging, otherwise known as Mel and Neg, for Lezbedovas, and we are a lesbian couple that have been together for almost 4 years. We came from San Diego, met in San Diego, and then we are now living in Arizona. We are just living our life. We traveled a lot. Now we are starting a family and enjoying the next chapter in our life, and can't wait to share our journey with the world in the next.
And we're having a baby girl.
Oh,
so good.
30.77. Well done.
So good though. So good.
Oh, the first time is better.
No, it was still very, very. You hit every point, every single point.
I start the YouTube channel right now because
you're
pros. You're pros.
Oh Lord.
We have a couple of videos. But...
So we obviously we want to say congratulations. You're pregnant.
Thank you.
You have a month to go.
We are due next month, July 27th.
Nice.
Oh my gosh, less than 6 weeks. So yeah.
Ooh, my brother's the 28th.
Oh,
You're having a Leo.
Yes. How is the Leo?
Leader.
I might be a Leo.
Oh, very nice.
I might be August 12th. So if you can just keep the baby in there like 2 more weeks.
I'm sure they're
dying. Oh, no. We're in Arizona. No, thank you.
Oh, it's hot. Oh, yeah.
But we have a pool.
Oh, you have a pool? Oh, I've seen it in your posts.
I've seen it on Instagram. So, okay. So that brings us right to my first question that I was dying to know. How does a lesbian couple like yourselves become Instagram famous? Did you like set out to do that? Did you meet each other and say, let's, be lesbians on the Insta?
And by the way, we're not asking because we want to be lesbian famous.
Not at all.
We're not at all asking that.
I really want to know how it happened. I mean, you guys are gorgeous, and there's a reason why your photos are so popular.
Thank you.
Jamie, are you saying we're not gorgeous? Is that what you're
saying? We
saying? I shower right now? Okay. Go ahead.
All about the inside, guys. Babe, why don't you let them know how we started?
It just kind of happened. So on my personal account, I posted one of our wedding photos, and pretty much it just went viral. So my wife and we decided, hey, let's start a travel page and share. Oh, sorry. And, share our love to the LGBT community, and we pretty much did. And so.
Well, on top of that, she was starting her social media marketing job, and she was learning how to really leverage the platforms and whatnot. And one of our pictures, or a few of our pictures from the wedding, went a little bit viral. So she's like, oh, babe, we are definitely creating an account. Let's see if we can post some more pictures. And I said, okay, let's do it.
And it works out great because she has the eye for photography, and I do the social media marketing. So together we work as a pretty good team.
Yeah. It's amazing. First of all, I thought you guys were like models. I thought you were ex-models. And so you were like, ooh, yeah, we'll just
I love that you called them ex-models, like they were kicked out of the biz.
No, like they're done with that, but they're using their modeling skills. I don't know. And then also it's really not that easy for a photo to go viral.
It's not.
So trust us, we try.
Yeah, and it doesn't happen.
It's
just like you act like you just posted it, and then did you have
I don't like that's what happened.
It truly, that is exactly what happened. Honestly, okay, so
she was traveling at the time.
Even before our wedding, and we tried to take like our engagement photos, we were so awkward. We just didn't know how to take pictures. And we were like, we need to up our game just like when the wedding comes, so we know how to pose in pictures. True. It was pretty insane how this all transpired. But basically, when we had a couple of engagement sessions, and then for the wedding, it's the photographers from Del Sol in Cancun. They took fantastic photos.
Yes, they did.
The way that they captured it, everything turned out beautifully. When we got those pictures, she posted on her personal account, and at the time you had like 400 followers, and it
Shut
just
up.
went crazy. And so she's like, "Oh, I'm creating this account," and I'm like,
That's
"All right."
amazing. Well,
That's
you know,
amazing.
I mean, we keep talking about how beautiful you guys are, but really the
But
point of
Jamie,
this
actually,
is,
it's you that keeps doing that. But go ahead. I mean, I'm not saying you two aren't beautiful. I'm just saying as Jamie keeps mentioning it. I hope Anne's not listening right now, but go ahead.
she's busy with 2 kids right now. She's not hearing anything.
Oh,
but
that's how it's gonna be, huh?
yeah,
It is,
yeah,
by the way.
it
Yeah.
is. Yeah. But you know, the real thing of this and the main thing about this is that you are highlighting relationships like ours,
Yes.
Yeah.
and you're showing them in a light that yes is beautiful, but is also honest and real and
Right.
accessible. And so we thank you for that. That's the work that needs to be done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we
And-
thank
and
you
I-
for the lipstick and for, looking prettier than we do right now.
But I
It's
think
the least
that
we can do.
that's a big reason why you were touched by an angel and you just went viral.
Did you seriously just drop in touched by an angel?
I did.
That's awesome.
So, all right. So this is amazing. So you go viral. You have this amazing Lezbedovas Instagram account. You're well known.
And you're like, now let's have a baby.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
It couldn't have gone
Well,
like that.
she dropped the bomb on me in San Diego with the whole baby.
Yeah.
Did
So
you both always want to have kids?
Yes.
yes, I went through. For the most part, yes, we're both family oriented. We both come
Mhm.
from really good families, and through transitions of either figuring out if I want to be a career woman
Yeah, that's true.
or family woman, it was always instilled in me to still want a family. So
Mhm.
I mean, it was no brainer for me.
And we did touch on this before we had to re-record.
Before Robin had to record. Yeah.
And I do want to I want to talk about this a little bit too. But both of you came out rather young, I feel like, right? Like,
Mhm.
when did you guys come out? How hard was it to come out? And that didn't affect, or did it affect you wanting to have children?
Yes. So I came out, it was also a progression. I came out to like close friends and family. And then I want to say back in 2007, 2008. And that I feel like is still a long time ago, but there wasn't a lot of exposure out there for lesbians. The only kind of lesbians out there was Ellen, who I was a huge fan of, still a huge fan of. And then I would secretly watch the L Word.
Yeah.
And then
I
would
definitely did that.
yeah. And then I had a lot of gay boyfriends. So I would go to the gay bars and whatnot. And then finally, after coming out to my friends, I came out to my family. I didn't talk about this before, but it was very difficult in the beginning with my family. It kind of drove a wedge a bit. And it was really awkward, but I was in college at the time and I was living on my own. So it was okay to kind of live my life. But my family eventually came around, and now they're like super accepting and they love her.
Her mom's my best friend.
They are best friends.
Yeah.
Not how it always goes.
Yeah.
Cute.
That's how it should go.
Not how it always goes, though. That's
No, it's not. You're right.
No.
It's how it should go, I should say.
Definitely not how it always goes. But yeah, now, I mean, cut to now. I'm out and proud and all over Instagram.
You sure are.
It's
What
amazing.
about you?
So for me, I came out back in 2008, and it was more of an intervention. My parents are divorced, so when I came out to my dad, actually, rewind. I first came out to my mom. I came out to my mom, and I was in a relationship. I had my heart broken. It was puppy love at the time. And when I told my mom about it, she said, I don't care if you marry black, white, yellow, monkey. I don't care who you're in a relationship with, as long as you finish school. That was actually what she really said. She was like, I don't want you to get in a relationship, because she felt like I would get distracted. So a few months later, I ended up in a relationship. And so, and it was with a girl. And then later on, my dad, he kind of caught wind of it. And I came out to my dad. I just straight up told him. And next thing I know, my mom came over to my dad's house. And again, my parents are divorced. So it was just like this huge intervention. They were all getting on to me about it. And I ended up just moving out and just continued my life. And then I moved to California. It was just a sudden move for me. And then, or in Orange County. And then from Orange County, I went to San Diego. And then I met Melissa. And so when I met Melissa, I just knew she was the one for me. And and so I ended up telling my parents, and I was like, this is very serious for me. You know, she's the one. I know I'm going to marry her at some point. And my mom was a little iffy about it, but
she did not want to meet me.
Yeah.
She didn't want to hear about me.
Yeah, it was actually very difficult. And so then when the wedding came, both of my parents, I really felt like my parents were not going to show up, and they both ended up coming. And so for me, it was just a really big deal, especially being Middle Eastern. It's frowned upon, you know.
From Alabama.
From Alabama, yes. So it's just very different. And as far as, you know, wanting a family, that's always been, you know, on my mind, whether I was going to be with a guy or a girl. I've always pictured myself with a family at some point. So that didn't really matter for me, you know, if I ended up with a girl or a guy. And I did date guys in the past, but that just did not work out.
You're like, I'm bored with this. Not so much.
I mean, look at her.
I mean, exactly.
Yeah, baby, settle down.
I mean, I'm so sorry that you had to go through that and that it was so difficult, but I'm glad that they've come around. That's
for sure.
It's just, and it's interesting because Robin and I talk about this all the time. We're older. I mean, we're not that old, but we are. Robin, we are of a little, slightly
a little bit older,
a generation. A little older. She's older than me.
Hey, you better settle down.
Call her out.
Now.
Wait, do you guys even know how old we are?
33.
Are like 12?
That was good.
What are you, like 28?
No, they're 33.
I wish.
Are you seriously a 33?
32.
Oh,
we'll be 33.
So good.
Thank you.
Yeah, no.
We're still a little bit older.
Just a little bit.
We're a little older than that. But we talk about this all the time. We talk about how the younger generations have it so much easier, and it's so much easier to come out. And it's actually not true.
But that's also why I'm so interested in hearing you say, like, you were like looking at L word for, you know, for kid, how you're going to do it, but you didn't know. Like, it seems to me, I always felt like you're so recent in coming out that it should be all just there for you, but it's just not.
No. Oh, definitely not. I mean, if you think about it, 2007, 2008 for me was a long time ago. Like it was 12, 13 years ago. And social media wasn't around as it is now.
Not at all.
You know, like YouTube was barely starting, and I was looking up Portia and Ellen. I was like, oh my God, they're so pretty.
There was like people putting parties on Facebook, and I was like, guys, if you don't email it to me, I don't know it's happening. That's what I remember about 2007.
Yeah, things have definitely changed a lot in those years, in these few years. But it really is interesting that it's still hard for us to come out.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Oh, for sure.
Sadly.
So let's turn the corner to making a baby. How did we get there? Because you are, you know, making a baby.
For sure.
I mean,
literally as we speak.
She's cooking
right now. Right now.
I think she's pretty much cooked.
She's close.
She's cooked.
I told her, I said, we need to get the bag ready, you know.
I feel like she's ready to come out. Like she's moving like
I feel like everything they tell you to put in that bag, you just don't need. That's
you don't use it.
They have it all at the hospital. Just don't worry about it.
See? There you go, man.
Don't stress.
No.
All right. So so let's go into this. How did you guys decide to do this?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna just walk away quickly and turn the light on because it's getting very dark in this room.
Yeah, it might be because we're doing it again. I'm super sorry.
Are we recording?
Yeah,
Just
you
kidding.
go ahead.
So how did we decide to start a family? Well, our relationship overall was kind of a bit of on a fast track. And I think it started because we became like best friends actually before we started dating. We were dating other people. And we were almost each other's confidants at the time, where you just talk about things that you would probably never talk about with somebody that you were gonna date.
See, you guys did not hear this the first time.
Oh my God, we're getting so much new
We're getting
You're
more
information.
getting a
stuff.
lot more information, huh?
So we actually became really
like a
good
date.
friends. I know, right? We're on a little virtual date.
Like we made out a lot, which is not something that best friends do, but we thought that was a cool idea.
All right.
Just want to
She
test the
actually
waters.
put me in my place.
Oh my God, I put her in friend zone so hard.
Mhm.
Because she was a flirt. And then I was
Mhm.
like, skirt, if you want to be my friend, you can't be doing that with me. You have a girlfriend, I have a girlfriend. So
Ooh.
in that case, that ended up being very platonic friends. And
And I've never had someone put me in my place. So when she
Oh.
did, I was like,
You're like, that's cute. That's hot.
yeah.
and I said, do not disrespect me. So it ended up being really good. So we actually got to know each other very well through that friendship. And then it just so happened that we were not in our relationships anymore at one point. And then I've never had somebody come out of the friend zone. She's the only person that's come out of the friend zone. And so, so I kind of looked at her a little bit differently, and I was like, okay, I can kind of see something. So
And
we started.
everyone kept saying that there was something between us.
Oh, yes.
And they would call that twin. Well, they didn't call it twin flame. We called it.
They were
twin
like,
flame.
you guys have a really
Very
strong
very
energy.
strong energy.
And then that got me thinking like, maybe we do have some kind of energy. And then it kind of shifted to this, okay, she's cute. Maybe I can do this. And then we started talking a little bit more like, intimately. And then a couple of months, usually I date people for like 6 to a year before I want to make it official. I made it official on 11/11/2016. Then 11/11/2017, I proposed.
11/11 is our thing because
11/11.
of the whole twin.
And then 11/11/18 is when
I
we got
love
married.
ones. I love the power number.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
And then that year in 2018, we started talking about potentially moving to Tucson, Arizona, because my job is remote and I work virtually. And she was like, okay. And I said, I don't want to start a family.
Yeah.
let's move towards family if we want to start a family. So I kind of dropped the ball on her and I said, I want to start the process next year to have kids. Yeah, and she's like, okay, hold on. So we ended up moving. We were settling in. I had a house here, and then even though we were busy, I traveled a lot for work and whatnot. We still kind of were like, well, do you want to start the process, because it could take a long time? So we started the process last year, and we got pregnant.
Yeah.
So
what process did you start?
We got to dissect that. We're going to have to take that step by step.
We have questions.
Lots of questions.
We've got answers.
Thank God, because otherwise we'd be like, well, that was this podcast.
So how did you decide how to go about it? There's so many different ways for us to do this.
So many different ways.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about it, babe? Or do you
Your cousins.
My cousin. Well, my cousin and her wife, they are married. They now have 2 kids. So they each had a kid. But it took them 3.5 years to get there. And it's kind of crazy. So when I talked to my cousin, she was talking about the kind of the method that they went about. They tried to go through a fertility doctor. They tried IUI, IVF, I believe. Spent thousands and thousands of dollars, and they just never got pregnant. And so eventually they were almost losing hope, but they ended up going down the path of a known donor. So they knew somebody that was willing to donate their sperm, and they did an at-home insemination. And to up their chances, they started with my cousin. And then a couple weeks later, they're like, well, he's willing to donate again. Let's try it with the wife. So they tried it with her, and then they both got pregnant.
Oh my God. This story. We're gonna have them on the
Whoa.
podcast.
I know. You guys should.
Oh, and their
Call
kids are
us.
beautiful.
Oh my God, that would be amazing. I bet you
Yes.
their kids are so freaking
So
cute.
cute.
That is just crazy, though, that they went through all of that fertility and
Mhm.
probably lots of drugs too.
Yes,
You know,
absolutely.
fertility
Not
drugs.
the fun kind.
Not the fun. Trust me, I know. I've been through 'em
Knows.
Oh man.
a lot.
Yeah.
And then it happened naturally.
Yeah.
For
So
both of them.
for both
Yeah.
of them. So we were like, why would we start the difficult way? Why don't we just
Yeah.
start the easy way? And so we did that. We were like, let's get somebody that would be a known donor, that would be willing and able to, and kind of have the same expectations as us, which is a lot of detail behind that. But we ended up just trying to find a known donor, and we did. And it worked out. And we got pregnant the second try.
Oh my God. So who's this known donor?
Yeah.
So this known donor is one of my friends. He's also gay, and I've known him for like over 12 years.
Very, very good looking guy.
Very cute. Very
I thought you were going to
sweet.
say very, very gay, and I was going to go, aren't we all a little
yes, to answer that, we all are very gay. He and I were always joke about being each other's donors, because he's so good looking, and he's just the sweetest that I claimed him 12 years ago, and I was like, well, he's gonna be my donor. And he's like, well, as long as you're my egg donor, just kind of whatever.
Yeah.
So then
Trade-off.
cut to when we were actually looking at donors, I said, well, let's ask him. So he lives in LA, and we were going to LA for Pride last year. And I said, well, let's just meet up with him. Let's talk to him. Let's somehow bring it up. I was really nervous.
So I took over. Give me a couple drinks and I'll take over anything.
But the conversation
"Babe,
just naturally
I've got
went there.
this."
Yes. Yeah. I was like, oh my God, babe, ask him.
Oh my God.
It was actually very easy.
It was actually really, really
Yeah,
easy. And he was
it
like,
was
yeah,
smooth.
I'll do it. And we were like, wait, for real though? Like, would you really do it? And he's like, yeah, absolutely.
Amazing.
And
So
then
then-
it was like Paperwork Central, or
It was Paperwork Central.
Questionnaire too.
wait, a questionnaire.
Questionnaire. Talk
Yes.
about this questionnaire.
Tell us about the questionnaire that we've never heard about before we didn't hit
I feel like
record.
it's really amazing.
Oh yeah.
We're almost to new ground, guys. It's gonna keep going. You're doing great.
we're almost there, picking through. I can feel it.
Woo!
Yeah. So I'm an engineer by nature, so I like all my stuff to be like
All her ducks in a row.
vetted, all my ducks in a row. So I created this questionnaire, and it was a pretty lengthy, probably like 40 question, invasive-ish, but not really, but maybe, questionnaire asking about like his medical history, his current status, his expectations as
If you
far
wanted
as
to be there at the delivery room.
she really wanted to know.
Yes, I
she
really
really wanted to know if he wanted to be there for the delivery.
I was like,
because
I'm asking that question.
that was going to set the tone of his expectations.
Did-
So
Did you want him to be the delivery room, or you didn't?
No.
No. So you wanted him. So it was like a trick question almost.
it was
Yeah.
Almost like
I have
that-ish.
some of those.
You do
Sussing it
seem like
out.
you do seem like you might be a little like quiet, but like at the same time being like trying to get somebody.
Mm.
You stealthily sussed it
Got
out.
her.
It was a stealthily placed question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've heard
detective.
people, we've heard a lot of people go forward on a handshake deal. We've heard a
Mhm.
lot of people work through lawyers, but never anyone that did it like this. I think that's so fascinating
I think,
Yeah.
and I said this before when we weren't recording. I
Thanks,
think
Jamie.
that
because I had forgotten for 2 minutes of my fuck up. But go ahead, Jamie.
I
Thanks.
think that a lot of our listeners are going to want to know what was on this questionnaire, and they're going to
Yeah.
want to see it. So, I want to see.
And
it.
again, just for the record, we're not putting you on the spot again for a second time if you want to share it.
Yeah.
But I did say this the first time. Our lawyer, Anthony, talked about how people come to him and they think that they've worked everything through. And then he asks simple questions like, well, what is the child going to call the donor? And it
Right.
stumps these people. And then sometimes he has people who actually like don't go forward because they're not on the same page. So I think it was
Right.
so smart that you did that.
Right. And I think one of the biggest things for me in any relationship, whether it's like your parents, your best friends, or your partner, I feel like a lot of people don't ask a lot of questions, and that's what I always talk about all the time, and I call it big talk.
Yeah.
And you just have to ask questions because you can't assume. And if you want to get to know people better, expectations better, and not like think you know what's going on and have a handshake deal, you got to ask these questions. So that's where that really came from.
So we really like sat down and brainstormed, like, okay, what do we want to ask?
Yeah, and that was prior to going forward. And if we talked about it personally and said, these are what we would want him to say, or what we would want together as a couple and to start a family, because this is huge, right? So
did you have any deal breakers?
We had deal breakers too.
I know I did, but did you?
Yeah, what were the deal breakers?
Yeah, well, his deal breaker as well, he had a deal breaker, was he didn't want to be unknown. He didn't want to be just like donate and then
that's it,
and anonymous.
We act like it. Yeah, we act like it. We got it from a sperm bank or something. So
yeah.
I was okay with that because I don't mind him being known in their life, but just not like a father, a dad, or like I just, and no rights. So if he wanted any rights in any way, that would have been a deal breaker for me.
Right.
So he filled out the questionnaire, and if it came back pretty aligned to us, and it's like, let's do this, we'll create a contract. And he did. He came back, and it was like super easy.
So easy.
It was like super respectful. He's like, this is your baby.
Yeah.
I'm just helping you have a family. Like, there's nothing that I'm expecting from this. I just want you guys to have that love in your life. And
I love it.
Incredible.
And you know what? It's really a smart way to go about this. Just besides the whole legal thing, the way you instead of telling him what your expectations were, where he could just turn around and be like, yeah, okay, sure.
totally.
Yeah.
You waited to hear what he had to say first. You knew what you wanted in your heart, and then you saw if it aligned. Really,
Right.
It was like you were confident enough to know that if not him, it would come someplace else.
Correct.
As opposed to coming from like a place of, desperation.
We had an issue with that too.
We did, actually.
Oh my God. Just to summarize that, we ended up going to a infertility doctor just to check if everything was going to be fine. Just to make sure, just do our due diligence. And I don't really know about this guy. But he said, it'd be smart to just get his sperm tested to see if you're not wasting your time with him.
Right.
So we tried once and we didn't get pregnant. So we're like, all right, let's just see if he has like a proper count and if his sperm's like actually, viable. So we got that tested. Again, he lives in LA. So he had to do it at a clinic over there. They sent the results to the doctor. The doctor called us and said, I wouldn't use him.
Oh,
really?
Right?
Yeah.
Did he have like low
we
mobility
did
or something? Or
he had like low mobility and like the formation was off or something like that.
I didn't know there was formations. It's amazing. It's like synchronized swimming.
It's like Beyonce.
Line up.
Yep. So
we ended up talking about it.
I was so devastated.
We were very sad about it.
Devastated. And we were like, oh my God, what are we going to do? We got to look for a sperm bank now. And I went like on a crazy bender on like all these sperm bank things. And I was like,
and we're like, this is not going to work out.
Right. Well, when you have your heart set on it happening a certain way, that's the way you want it to go. It's also interesting. We've talked to couples who were using a known donor, and then a doctor told them, don't use this donor, and they didn't.
And they kicked them. Every single person we talked to kicked them.
We
thought about it.
So the only reason why we went through with it is because we had already booked a flight for him to come down. His family lives here. So he's originally from here himself. So he was going to come visit his family. And at the same time, we were checking my supposed ovulation dates and whatnot. And we're like, let's just keep the flight. We were going to cancel it.
And we had already put so much time. We did the questionnaire, we talked to him, we know who he is.
We made the contract before we read the contract. Yes.
We put a lot of time.
We got it notarized, everything.
And then Yeah.
Just to put it into context, you had only tried one time.
Correct.
So I mean, it's like you were 30 days into the process plus
But
questionnaire.
They put so much thought into, and you used lawyers, right? You had to use a lawyer to or did you use a
A
lawyer?
friend that's
A friend that's a lawyer that did it, and then we just got it vetted and notarized and everything. So
I mean, we say this all the time. Once you're on the path, once you're on that roller coaster, you can't stop.
It's tough to change. It's tough to change.
Go. Yeah.
And then he also, when we had told him about it, because we were like, this is what the doctor said, and we talked about it, he came back and he was like, well, I'm no quitter.
He was like, I'll still go through with it. And we're like, all
I
right.
can do better.
Yeah.
We had
And he was
another
actually
gay
very
man.
sad too.
I can imagine. That's not fun to hear.
Yeah.
And he it was like season 1, and his he had a bad count, and he was like, no, recheck it. And it turned out he was using what's it called? Acne medicine, like proactive, whatever that was. And and he read about it, and affected his sperm count, and he stopped, and it changed everything. And they had 2 kids by him, but he was just like, he refused in the same, it was another gay man. And he was just like, no, like, check it again.
Check it again.
Right?
Accutane. I think it was Accutane.
Yeah, something like that. Oh,
yeah.
by the way, actually, Steph, take out Accutane. We don't want them to sue us, just in case. Just in case, James.
That's for our editor.
Yeah. Sorry, Steph's our editor. Steph, also maybe make me not look like an asshole in the edits because of the original not recording thing.
Anyway.
Take it all out.
Okay.
Oh my God. Are you writing down these times for me to get it out of the video too?
Oh no, we're fine. Just Accutane, yes, 32. Yeah. But it's fine in the video.
Almost
anyway.
33.
Oh. Wait, so we did one full disclosure. The way we found you guys was through Mira Fertility. Tell us about how that played into your fertility checking, because you were just starting to talk about it lined up with his trip. How did that work?
Yes. So I didn't want to waste time, so I was out there looking for other opportunities to track ovulation, other than just kind of like, I don't know, like doing
Mucus.
your mucus and taking your BBT every morning and whatnot. So I had like 2 different apps, and I was tracking all that. Again, I know we only tried once, but I was like, I wanted to work the first time.
And probably also because of your cousins.
Right. I didn't want to go down this 3-year road and whatnot.
Yes.
So I found Mira, and I was like, oh, this looks like something that would be legit. Pee on the stick. And then it actually reads your levels, and it gives you like a feedback of when your spikes are, because I read a lot about how, not every person's different. Every body is different. So you could ovulate early or late. And I said, I don't want to waste time. Bought the Mira, and I used it, and I started tracking it. And then it was interesting because I was using it at the first round for that second try. And it just so happened that I was using the apps with like the Mira feedback that I got. And I booked our donor's flight around the suspected peak time based on that.
Based on the app?
Based on the app.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's incredible.
I know, which was awesome. So we ended up keeping it. He came down, and I kept checking my levels. And actually the day after we tried, my LH levels spiked. And it showed that it went up. So I'm pretty sure we got pregnant around that time, because it was, and we tried every other day, because you're supposed to.
Yeah, you did.
Every other day.
How many days did you try?
We tried it 2 days. So one on a Monday and then one on a Wednesday. The first time we tried, we actually tried back-to-back days, and we heard from other lesbian couples that use a known donor that you don't want to do that, because the sperm is going to kill off each other.
Oh, they like.
So, yes. So we had he was here for 4 days. So I was like, I'm going to use Mira to figure out which 2 days of the 4 days we're going to try. So it actually shifted too, because I was like, I think the spike's supposed to be another, hit another time. So we shifted it another day, and it ended up working out perfect, because here we are pregnant.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
You know what I'm really also impressed with is that you knew it showed you a spike after.
Yes.
Because when you're trying, and you keep getting negatives and negatives and negatives. I can't tell you the amount of pregnancy tests I bought when I was going through my almost 3 years of infertility, because you just want to know, you need an answer. So having that, I mean, I can imagine that you still go crazy with it because now you're testing and you're not getting any numbers, but still to see that happen. Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, it was, and I was like, wow, is this, because it was the first round. I was like, is it just reading the sperm? Like, I was just like, what does this mean? Because I didn't really understand it, but looking back at it.
Babe, my levels are up. Babe.
Exactly. Yeah. Man, if only it was that easy.
I know. If only we could just bone.
Right?
If only. So
I
want to know, because we have talked to numerous couples who've done it at home, but how does that work?
And were you ever afraid you were screwing it up and all the sperm was like going in the wrong places?
Ooh, girl.
We had bubbles.
Oh my gosh. The first time we went to LA, we had gotten a really nice Airbnb because we're like, we're gonna get pregnant the first time. We're gonna have this real nice place. It's gonna be super romantic. Yeah. So we had him come over, deposit his specimen in a cup, and then we had these little squeeze
and I had
syringes.
To keep it warm, so I had to hold it in my hand.
We're like, okay, bye. Thanks, bye. And then he left. He left. Yes. And we also did it back to back then too, right? So at the time we had this squeeze syringe that you you squeeze it and then you put it in the sperm and then you suck it up.
Oh, right, like a droplet, an eyedropper type thing.
Correct. Yeah. We used that the first time, and then we tried it the first day. I think I sucked it up the first time. Well, and I handed it to her so she could be part of it.
I want to be a part of it.
Yes, and I was like, you be part of it. So
it's like cutting the umbilical cord, but not.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna have to do that.
Oh gosh. So the second day, she decides to put the syringe in and push the thing, so it went.
Oh.
And then I was like, what are you doing?
It's like
no, let me
out
do
the side.
And she sucked it up and it's like air bubbles. And then this is really graphic. Sorry, guys.
No, I love
this
it.
is good. This
because I know I would screw this up at home. Like, I just know all of it would end up on the floor. And
just to clarify, we joke turkey baster method. That's what we call it.
Yeah.
However,
that's
turkey baster.
This is a syringe that is used for this.
No, I don't think so. I think that this
you literally just bought like an eyedropper
syringe. Well, the infertility doctor gave it to us. He
gave
us these little cups and these little
sterile.
It's like a pipette.
Droppers.
They're like pipettes.
Yes, pipettes. That's exactly what they are.
Boom! I took science.
There it is.
Wow, I'm impressed.
Don't use a pipette though. Don't use a pipette. Because she sucked up all the air, and then when she put that in me, it was like air. I was like, oh my God, what is this?
And she's like, babe, it's all coming out.
Yeah, it was not. So we were kind of optimistic, but not at all. The first time we were like, God dang it.
That definitely didn't work.
Yeah, no.
Also, this sounds like the opposite of your Airbnb romantic fireplace setting that you had in mind.
Yeah, it was
Babe,
a good
it's coming out.
Did you call
we
him?
did get romantic.
Oh, you did.
The first time.
The first time it was actually romantic. I got emotional, and it was like, oh my God, we're trying to make a baby, and the second time was not as.
It was like, all right, let's do this.
Yeah, so suddenly it's like science gloves, it's like face mask down.
Yeah. Pretty much. We're like, and we actually we've documented a lot of our process on camera. We have it all like on video.
You're making a documentary, aren't you?
You should.
Are you too?
Listen, if you need us to host it, fine. Okay. Yes, we'll shower. Yes. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, it was an interesting first time. But we learned our lesson that time. So don't use a pipette.
Don't use a pipette.
We ended up buying another syringe. It was bad.
Buying it where? Like at a CVS?
Amazon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was just like one of those that you just like suck up. A needleless syringe kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it ended up not working.
So
Why are you laughing?
no, there's no.
There's something you want to share.
Because I do want to share that.
What do you want to
Share it.
What? I think I forgot.
So I went, you forgot? Okay. So we got the syringes. I got it off Amazon. It was like a packet of 100 because they were tiny. I didn't know the size. So we ended up, because they were so tiny, we had a good amount of specimen. So we had to suck up 4 different ones.
Like stand by and number 2. Stand by, coming in with number 3.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's pretty much what happened.
And you also used a, what is it, that little cup thing? Did you use that?
What?
The
Oh, yes.
What's
And
it
we
called?
used a
Oh,
disc.
Yeah.
A disc
Just
so
to
that,
keep the business up there, right?
yeah,
I don't
just,
know
you
what
know,
this is.
It's like
What
a
is-
soft cup or something like
it
that.
is. It's a soft cup. It's
Oh.
what like you can use today for menstrual.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
cycles.
Gotcha. Oh.
Yeah, it keeps,
Yeah.
it's like a stopper. It's
I hadn't heard of that.
plugging things up, if you will.
Yeah, because, you know,
That's
last time
smart.
air bubbles came out, so we didn't want that.
That
Oh
was
my
fun.
God, with the air bubbles.
Oh my god, I love it. Okay, so second time you got smart and you figured some things out and
Yeah.
then it worked.
It worked. It worked. It all lined up. Mira said I spiked. We had the proper syringe.
She had her feet up.
I had my feet up
On
for
our
a couple
adjustable base.
hours, and we were a little nervous because we were still like, okay, let's not get our hopes up, because that one negative was really sad. I mean, I feel for anybody and everybody out there that's like constantly gone
Yeah.
through this process.
Very
It's-
hard.
And
But you
we're
have your
very
hopes
fortunate.
up. You have your hopes up.
Yeah.
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 Are you guys, we talked a little bit before when we talked about you're in Arizona and you're about to have a baby. Like, are you feeling good? Are you ready? Do you have any worries about the red state lesbian family thing, or?
Actually, no. I've always felt, I know Arizona's like a red state and there's a lot of retirees here and whatnot, but all my friends and everybody that I'm surrounded by is like super progressive and open, and
yeah.
I don't see an issue, and hopefully we can turn this red state
Yeah.
blue.
You turn this red state lesbian.
Yes. Rainbow.
Yeah. Rainbow. That's nice to hear though. That's
Yeah, it's
great
really nice to hear.
Yeah, we've had no issues at all.
Yeah.
I read sometime, like maybe a decade ago, that there's some retirement community there that's like an LGBTQ. And I've always fantasized about me and all my friends like retiring there, even though I'm like, I don't know.
Was it in a magazine?
Probably. I mean,
Because I totally read that. I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna retire there."
right? Wouldn't that be so fun? It's like a retirement community with all the gays. I would love
Dinah, Dinah for retirees.
Oh my god, how
Yes.
fun would that be? Crazy. I don't know if it'd be crazy though, because y'all
We'd probably all old. Like, my knees.
I don't know.
I'm sure it'll be
The
crazy.
older version of L word.
So there's one question we didn't ask. How hard was it to decide who carries? Was it an easy decision?
That was a very easy decision, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't want to keep trying till, like, I wanted to try at 33. It was going to be the max age that I wanted to try at, because I felt like if it's going to be a process and I was going to be 34 or 35, I just have a lot of like body issues and like a lot of medical but not medical stuff that I didn't want it to be where I'm getting pregnant older.
Yeah.
And she just didn't want to be pregnant at all.
Never wanted it.
Well, she's changed her mind since,
I
but
have.
Oh, really?
Well, because we want to, and she's not going to
yes, I
carry
ain't gonna do it
again.
again.
But
But
it again.
She's like, it's your turn, babe.
so if you want another one, you got to get pregnant, or we can adopt.
Oh.
Would you use the same donor or try to use the same donor? Do you
Yeah.
care?
Same one. Mhm.
Yeah,
That was in our contract.
Of course it was. That was in the questionnaire.
It was in the questionnaire.
That
Oh,
was in the
questionnaire.
Google Doc. That
I
was
was
in the
like, we
Google
didn't
Doc.
contractually.
We need this questionnaire.
We
oh
really
my god.
do.
It's
We
like
really do.
it's like you guys, because we get all these questions answered for us by the sperm bank. Like they have these questionnaires
Yeah.
for these donors.
Right.
And they
Right.
vet them, we get a lot of that info that you were talking about just
Yeah.
with sperm donors, anonymous
Right.
sperm bank donors. But like I've never heard of a couple create their own
Never.
questionnaire with that much
Detail. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just love
Yeah.
how methodical you were with the whole process from beginning to end. And maybe it is because your cousin went through that 3-year process, but
Right.
regardless, you were you didn't have the information, but yet you still were so like surgical with how you did it. And I think that's really wonderful. I mean,
Thank you.
and I think it's helpful for listeners to know that it doesn't have to be crazy. You can
Right.
just like make choices and just go forward. And sometimes that's going to work out. Sometimes it's going to be harder, but
Right.
that might clear up some of the hard part of it. Might.
Yeah, and I remember wanting to start looking into this process, and it was super overwhelming. Like, we
Yes.
didn't know where to start. We didn't know how we wanted to do it. We didn't, like, every step of the way was very confusing. And I still talk about it too. I mean, we always talk about starting a YouTube because we didn't have a lot of resources. We didn't have who we can talk to my cousin, but that's one person's experience. I can talk to another couple and get more information, but there's nothing out there for us to reference. So
Yep.
we always stop. And we even said that, like, we could put this questionnaire on YouTube and say, download this as a resource.
You
Like,
could.
You
You
can.
might be,
You really
you might
could.
be getting a lot of requests for that after.
Yeah. Real.
No, it's true. And we did say this, we did mention this before, that you had mentioned that the only lesbians you saw having babies were on the L Word, or
Yes.
that's where you first even had the idea. There was nothing even that recent. Here's my
Right.
son.
Oh,
We almost made it there.
I know.
before you're scared to death.
Yeah.
It's coming.
See, we can put our dogs upstairs.
I know. We put our dogs upstairs.
Enjoy that. Enjoy that.
I know. 6 weeks.
Yeah, so it was even that recent, and there is more out there now, but there's not enough. There's not
Right.
enough on how
Well,
to make a family.
I hope that after 6 weeks from now or 7, you have that baby, and then you'll do a follow-up with us in some way. Maybe it's on our live stream or something, because we need to see you two a little more disheveled. I'm going to just be really super honest about it. I need
That's
to, for
ever
my
gonna
own
happen.
self-esteem.
It's not going to happen.
I need
It's
to
not gonna
see,
happen.
I need to see some like an eye twitching. I need something.
Oh, girl, this eye is twitching. You just can't see it.
We wish you all the best for the rest of your
All the best.
pregnancy.
Thank
You know, I
you.
know it's
Thank
crazy time for having to go give birth, so we hope that
Yeah.
everything goes smooth and you're allowed in there. I don't know if you're allowed. Both of you are going to be.
She will be there.
It's Arizona. They could have the baby in a bar. What? Sorry.
What?
Because they're wide open with the corona. You missed my joke. Stop. Cut it out, for God's sake.
Okay. Well, we really do wish you the best.
We do.
And we can't wait to see this little baby. I'm sure we're going to see her on the
Thank
social.
you.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes,
For sure.
definitely.
Our
Thank
platform
you.
is going to be changing over to a little family oriented for sure.
That is.
Yeah.
You're gonna change your handle or keep it at Lezbedovas?
We'll keep it Lezbedovas, just less traveling. I mean, obviously, less traveling, just more so sharing our life and hopefully sharing resources to like help others out there.
Amazing.
100%. Love it. I love it.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very
And
much.
people can find you at Lesbedovas on Instagram. That's
Yes, at LEZBEDOVAS.
go check them out, guys. Go follow.
Well done.
Follow
Well
them.
done.
Thank you, guys.